First Amendment right to the United States Constitution? Does anybody know?
According to Constitution Annotated, Congress.gov, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
That means I have the right to petition. I have the right to petition to take over the abandoned home that wasn't being cared for. The lawn wasn't being cared for. Now it's all dug up because they used all this heavy equipment. Instead of mowing the lawn, they used heavy equipment to remove the lawn. All kinds of stuff that they did. And not allowing somebody to go in and preserve this home is only destroying this home. So noting that I had petitioned as a Quaker to take over the home under my L3C, and I was even willing to pay for it. They had a public auction. Hardly anybody was told about it. Nobody's allowed to view it, and nobody wanted to purchase it. So it seems to me that this may be a repeat of history, like in other towns and states, say Bellows Falls, look up the Hetty Green Motel. And that's another story that was out there. Another situation where, what? Violation of rights, and just that. Violation of First Amendment constitutional right. So noting that I went to the town office of Anson with a petition, and I sent around a petition, and I also sent a copy of the petition with a United States postal carrier from Somerset County named Pete. He never got it back to me. And so it never got submitted to the town office for the town meeting. And I wasn't allowed to go to the town meeting because the roads weren't fit, and I have pictures and complaints and concerns that I put out there about it. Okay? So the road wasn't fit for anybody to drive on, and they purposely, I believe purposely, didn't fix it intentionally to try to piss me off or continue to make me holler about it. And so then the media doesn't want anybody to know about what really happened in the town of North Anson when they came to my known Quaker meeting place that was posted no trespassing, no males allowed. And the cops not only came onto my property and stepped over into my flower garden and knocked on my window and went in my house through the first door, opened up the other door, and the second door to the living room opened up. I watched it all. I reported it all. And you all know about it because I told you about it. And I even had people that called to find out why the police were at my house. In Somerset County's Sheriff's Department still doesn't talk about it. Okay? And so that was right before Halloween. All right? He even walked around my house and looked in my barn and he looked in my vehicle. What the hell are you doing? You had no search warrant. You got to have a search warrant to be searching stuff, especially entering my home. So noting that, I told everybody I had the right to take fingerprints and footprints, and they knew that. And I also told them, and they knew I had audio and surveillance, and they knew that I had a house sitter for my chickens as well. So they waited until they heard that my daughter was found and alive, and they condemned my home and they burnt it down. Somebody took my chickens. The county still hasn't said who took my chickens, but my house sitter made it very well known and clear that it was a frivolous act and that she had been there every day to take care of those chickens. And everybody that knows me and had been in that house has made it very clear they're not happy about the fact that my home got burned down because it wasn't condemnable, and they all know that it was frivolous and it was an act of a hate crime. And it can't be because you hate me because you don't know me. Okay? So that's a violation of constitutional right number one, and then suppressing the freedom of speech because they don't want to talk about it and they don't want you to know about it. So I came to the public about it and put it on YouTube to share about it, and they deleted all of it. But you see, I've still got the proof, and I'm not a liar. That's why I share this all with you people, so that you can be the judge and jury. I know there's a couple out here that are haters because you don't know me. But if it's ever happened to you, you wouldn't be talking shit about me. And those would be the ones, these couple of males that you see commenting on my YouTube. But you also will know that these are the same males that have been told for months, get out. So I have blocked them and they come back for more. Now they're making all these fake accounts on Facebook under the name of Jenny Doe. Well, that's another violation of constitutional right number 1. Okay? But what are the cops doing about it? Nothing. And so you wonder why there's lawsuits? That's why. That's number 4. So constitutional right amendment number 4 to come up.
According to Wikipedia, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects, against unreasonable searches and seizures, shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched, and the persons or things.
Okay, Somerset County Sheriff's Department number 4. Why, again, did the Somerset County Sheriff's Department come into my home? Now, I noticed when Ron Blodgett stepped onto my doorstep, he only knocked, and he was very cordial about it. I emailed him and asked him, and he corresponded and said he was doing an investigation, and he needed to meet with me. And I told him he wasn't meeting with me about anything, because the only thing he had to investigate was my missing daughter. He never contacted me back until I contacted him on November 28th by email and told Mr. Ronnie Blodgett that my home had been condemned and I wanted it looked into, and that his deputies weren't responding. I had called dispatch and they didn't respond. My house sitter called. They responded and told her the home was condemned. Somebody else had gone to the town office on their own business and was told that they could get my stuff. I wasn't told anything about it other than through my witnesses. And then when the home was being burned, Gordon Obert, part of the hate crime, knowing that he had abused my daughter and I put it out there, he was hating on me. He's the one that did the work in the home with me. He's also the one that fixed the burn, knowing that it was going to be prepared and repaired even more because there were plans for the horse and more. Okay? So, he knew. But Pete from the Federal United States Postal Service also knew that my home wasn't condemnable. Jeff Quinn knew. Isn't that right, Jeff? Because not only was he in my kitchen and living room, in my office, but he was in my bedroom. Isn't that right? How about that? Tell me I'm a liar again. I have no problem telling the truth. Okay? I'm not the liar. I didn't know you had a girlfriend, Melissa Shea, or wife, or whatever she is. But isn't that now why I'm not able to stay at any of the motels owned, like the Whispering Pines that it used to be, or out there at Schuster Road where it's extended stay, or the Farmington Motel, or the one in Rangeley, okay? Because the same group owns it. All tied into Jeff Quinn. So again, I've been discriminated against, defamed. More violations, okay? Coming into my home and searching it and going around my vehicle and looking into it and being out back and going up on a posted deck that said, do not enter, okay, onto a sunroom porch. Part of my house, opened up the door, walked through it, opened up another door, and the third door popped open, and I watched the whole fucking thing of it. Okay? I have the right to my own personal items. I have the right to everything. You didn't have a warrant. Okay. So does that explain number 4 to you? 4th Amendment. Now let's go to number 14. 14th Amendment constitutional right.
According to History.com, the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, ratified in 1868, granted citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, including former enslaved people, and guaranteed all citizens equal protection of the laws. One of 3 amendments passed during the Reconstruction era to abolish slavery and...
So, I'm a natural born resident to the state of Vermont. Why did my home get stolen? And why was I made a non-resident during the time that it was put in the newspaper of November 23rd that I was going to be running for state representative for 2020? Instead of allowing me to run, they stole my house and my car to make me a non-resident in my natural-born resident state, which is a violation of the state constitution. Okay? Because being a natural-born resident, I'll always be a resident of the state of Vermont. I was on my own family's generated property when they took my home and my car, unbeknown to me that the bank wanted to sell it and they couldn't sell it. And so I offered to buy it, and they never came back with a counter because nobody showed up at the auction. So they knew that I was still there and that I was offering to pay even a more amount than what they wanted, and they couldn't get a penny for it. So why should I have had to pay more than that for it? So that's what I gave in a money order. And then my car came up missing. And my house came up missing. My mail came up missing. All of my filings, all my personal identification came up missing. That happened in the state of Vermont, and then repeat of history, it happened right here in North Anson, Maine. How about that? Right? I didn't get all my belongings out of that home. I didn't get any of my belongings out of that home. Somebody else got my belongings out of that home that they could get, but they weren't able to get all of them. So I was able to receive them, but I'm not the one that got them. If I had known that this act was happening and I didn't, I would have made sure that it didn't happen. Because, well, wait a minute. Why did it happen? Because it's obvious, an organized, conspired crime, and I'm going to end this one. I'm going to start another one.